without further ado, let us begin our practice. So once again, this is live streaming on Facebook, and you can find me on Facebook at Yoga with Jason G. So I do practice every single day of the week. My schedule is on my Facebook page. As you feel ready, let's begin by starting. Also, it's on my website. As you feel ready, let's begin by starting in child's pose here. So as you find your way into your breath, begin to come into child's pose. Just trying to get the cameras all set up. That should be good. Okay. So yes, start in child's pose and let your breath become long and slow. It's better. Okay. Just begin to notice your inhalations and your exhalations. So whenever we take child's pose, this is really an opportunity for us to begin to find our way into our breath and allow our breath to be rather long and slow here. So child's pose is a very grounding practice. It's a very grounding posture. So as you take child's pose, see that the big toe mounds are releasing down. See that the buttocks flesh is releasing down. Lengthen through the side ribs here and continue to breathe. Now spread the fingers wide apart. Seal down from the thumb all the way to the pinky finger. Inhale, begin to peel up the chest, heart, and sternum. And as you exhale, you're going to begin to find your way into a cat and cow poses. So you're going to press down through the fingers. You're going to round the spine on the exhalation. Begin to inhale, lengthening up through the chest. As you exhale, rounding on through to the spine, belly hugs in. As you inhale, peeling the chest forward and up. And one more time, exhale, rounding on through the spine. Good work, guys. Inhale, peeling on through to the chest. Good. So tuck the toes underneath, press down through the heels, float the thigh bones back, downward facing dog pose. So spread those fingers wide apart. See that the head releases down towards the mat. See that the forearms lift up, thigh bones draw back, belly is engaged here. And we're in downward facing dog pose. And from downward facing dog pose, just begin to walk the hands back towards the feet, finding your way into Uttanasana. Top of a forward fold, release the head on down. So you take forward fold, take your right hand, bring it into your left elbow crease. Take your left hand, bring it into your right elbow crease. Let's begin to release the forearms all the way down towards the mat. And you'll glide the weight on forward so the weight shifts from the heels all the way forward to the toes of the feet. And then you'll begin to take the elbows over towards the right and back to center and to the left. So a few times here to stretch out through the elbows as you release on down. Good. And then you'll take the hands back down to the mat. Walk the fingers forward, walk the fingers forward, walk the fingers forward. Come back into downward facing dog pose. So again, we spread through the fingers. Continue to lengthen the forearms up towards the ceiling. Continue to press the thigh bones back to the back of the mat. Heels are lengthening as well as the fingers. So you can feel the legs and the arms are drawing in opposite directions here. Begin to bend those knees and walk the feet forward towards the hands. Inhale, lengthening halfway up. As you exhale, hinging at the hips, folding all the way down. Inhale, spinning the arms up towards the ceiling, Urdhva Hastasana pose. And as you exhale here, release the hands down to the sides of the body. Good. So as you find your way into Tadasana pose, see that the four corners of the feet are rooting down towards the mat. Feel the calves moving towards the shins. Feel the thighs moving towards the hamstrings. Allow the buttocks flesh to lengthen towards the heels. Inhale, float the arms up towards the ceiling, Urdhva Hastasana pose. So see that the outer arms wrap in, so you can even take the fingers forward of the chest, glide the fingers forward, spin the thumbs up, and then glide the hands up towards the ceiling. So we'll do that one more time. So you'll glide the fingers out to the sides. You'll take the fingers forward in front of the chest, turn the thumbs up towards the ceiling, and then glide the hands up as you come up into Urdhva Hastasana pose. As you exhale here, hinge at the hips and fold all the way down. Inhale, lengthening through the chest, heart, and sternum. As you exhale, hinging those hips all the way down. Inhale, Floating the arms up and above the head for Urdhva Hastasana pose. Continue to engage the belly. Continue to lengthen through those back ribs. As you exhale, take the hands back down to the sides. Inhale, floating those arms up above the head, Urdhva Hastasana. As you exhale, hinging at the hips and folding all the way forward. Inhale, lengthening through the chest, heart, and sternum. As you exhale, hinging at the hips and release. Inhale, floating those arms up towards the ceiling, lengthening through the four corners of the feet as you, pressing through the four corners of the feet as you lengthen through the fingers. As you exhale, taking the hands back down and bringing them to the sides. So again, we'll lift the hands up and we'll exhale, we'll fold again down towards the mat. Inhale, lengthening halfway. So this time, bend the knees. Take the hands behind the back and begin to float the fingers up towards the ceiling as you release the head down towards the mat. So see that the knees are lightly bent here. Continue to draw the shins forward as you draw the thigh bones up. Continue to release the chest all the way down towards the thighs. Inhale, begin to peel the chest on up, lifting through the heart, chest, and sternum. Raise the arms up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, glide the hands back to the sides. One more time. Inhale, float the arms up. Exhale, hinging at the hips and folding forward. Again, inhale, interlacing the hands behind the back. This time, one finger over from before. Pull the fingers back to the back of the room. Lift the fingers up towards the ceiling. Wrap the outer armpits in. Continue to lengthen the chest on forward. Feel the inner kneecaps lifting up. Feel the thigh bones drifting on back. Good. Release the head on down. Inhale, peeling up the chest, the heart, the sternum here, lifting up, raising the fingers up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale here, glide the hands back down and to the sides. Inhale, floating up. Exhale, releasing those hands down. Inhale, lifting halfway. So this time, we're going to step the left leg back to the back of the mat. Release that left knee down. Release the left leg down. Inhale, float the arms up towards the ceiling for Ardha Anjalayasana pose. So as you take this pose, see that the left calf is pressing into the left shin. Feel the left thigh drawing towards the left hamstring. And begin to feel the left buttocks lengthening to the left heel. Good. Keeping all those actions here, begin to bend the elbows and allow the center chest to lift up towards the ceiling. Good. Inhale, lengthen through the back ribs, soften those frontal ribs, and continue to engage the core muscles as you lengthen through the chest here. Excellent. As you exhale, plant those hands down to the mat. Glide the right leg back to meet the left leg. Find your way into plank pose. So you can always move through a vinyasa here or straight to downward facing dog. Lower the knees down to the mat. Lower the chest all the way down to the mat. Inhale, floating up the chest here. As you exhale, pressing down through the fingers, floating the legs back, finding your way into downward facing dog pose. Downward facing dog pose, float the left leg up. Left knee comes into the center chest. Round the spine here. Good. So keep pressing through the fingers. Keep taking the thigh bone up. Keep lifting through the chest. Now, step the left foot in between the hands. Release the right knee down. Inhale, floating the arms up towards the ceiling. Once again, Anjalayasana's pose, or Ardha Anjalayasana. As you press down through the right calf, feel the right thigh bone drawing back and in. Feel the right buttocks lengthening down towards the right heel, right back of the knee. Draw the elbows in towards the center chest as you lengthen the chest up towards the ceiling here. Soften the frontal ribs. Good. Once again, re-lengthen the arms up towards the ceiling. So lengthening those side ribs all the way to the fingertips. As you exhale, plant those hands down to the mat. Pressing back, stepping your right leg to meet your left leg at the front of the mat. Inhale, lengthening here. Exhale, folding. Inhale, floating the arms up towards the ceiling. Urdhva Hastasana pose. Exhale, taking the hands into the center chest. One more time. Inhale, floating the arms up. Exhale, hinging at the hips and folding here. Inhale, lengthening. So we're going to step the right leg back this time. Right knee releases down to the ground. Press down through the right calf. Inhale, float both arms up. Ardha Anjalayasana pose. This time, take your right hand, extend your right arm forward in front of you. Take your left arm, extend your left arm back behind you. Hug the left hip in towards the midline of the body. If you can, release the left hand down towards the left heel. Right arm extends all the way up towards the ceiling here. Good. As you exhale, come back to center. Float the arms up, release the hands down on the mat. Tuck the right toes underneath. Float the right leg back and straighten through the left leg. Parsvatonasana pose. As you press that left hip back, continue to draw the right hip forward. Breathe here as you lengthen through the chest. Very good. As you exhale, rebend into that left knee. Glide the left knee up off the mat. Release the left foot on down. Extend the right leg back behind you. Draw the right knee to the chest and begin to round the spine here. So keep taking the weight forward from the heels of the palms all the way to the fingertips. Press through the fingers, rounding off through the shoulders. Stepping your right foot in between the hands as you release the left knee down. Press down through the back of the left leg. Inhale. Begin to float the arms up towards the ceiling here. As you float the arms up towards the ceiling, continue to breathe. That's it. Again, this time you're going to glide the left hand forward, glide that right arm back. So you can stay here if you'd like. Some of us students will begin to bring the right hand down to the back of the left calf and extend the left arm all the way up towards the ceiling here. As you exhale, come back to center, lift those arms up, plant the hands down to the sides of the mat, pressing back through the left leg, straightening through the right leg here. So we come into Parsvatonasana, pyramid pose, bending through that knee, and this time gliding your right leg back to meet your left leg. Releasing back and down, downward facing dog pose. As you shift forward, lowering those knees down to the mat, lowering the chest all the way down onto the mat. Taking your hands, bringing your thumbs behind the back, inhale, begin to peel the chest on up. Shoulder blades move into the center chest, elbows draw to the ceiling. Inhale, begin to peel the fingers back to the backs of the knees. Float the right leg up as you press down through the left foot. Hug the right thigh in. Exhale, lower the right foot down. Float the left leg up as you hug the left thigh in. Exhale, lower that leg down. Float both feet up. So see that the big toe mounds touch. See that the pinky toes are lengthening in equal and opposite directions. As you exhale here, lower the head on down. Take the hands down to the mat. Press down through the fingers. Inhale, peel up the chest. Exhale, pressing on back, downward facing dog pose. So again, we come into downward facing dog pose here. Downward facing dog pose, we step the right foot in between the hands and spin that left heel down. Draw the right hip in. Glide both hands to the hips and breathe here. So we have warrior two legs. Warrior two legs. See that the left heel is pressing down. Firm the right buttocks in and underneath. Press the right thigh back. Draw the left thigh bone towards the ceiling here. And then allow the arms to come out to the sides as you lengthen from the center chest. Now, continue to bend into that right knee. Glide the right forearm onto the right thigh crease and lift the left arm up towards the ceiling. Utthita Parsvakonasana. Continue to bend deeply into that right knee. Maybe lift those right toes off the mat so the inner and outer arch of the foot are activated here. Good. Now send the left arm back to the back of the room. Glide it back behind you and inhale, peel open the chest. Maybe the hand just comes to touch the back thigh here. That's it. Keep bending more deeply into that right knee. Inhale, floating the left arm up towards the ceiling here. Once again, warrior two pose. Straightening through that right leg. And again, bending deeply into that right knee. From here, glide the right fingers up towards the ceiling. Let the left hand drop down the leg. Let the right arm extend up towards the ceiling, reversing the warrior. The right hip is coming off of the right thigh crease. Hands come back to parallel. Windmill the hands down to the mat. For a moment, Parsvakonasana. Release the head down and breathe here. So we're going to keep coming back to this pose throughout today. Bending deeply into the right knee, stepping the right leg back. Shifting forward into plank pose, being here for a moment, spreading through the fingers. And as you exhale, finding your way back into downward facing dog. Again, you're going to step the left foot in between the hands. Spin the right heel down. So walk the left toes to center, heel to arch alignment in the feet. Drive the left hip in. Take the arms out to the sides. Find your way into warrior two pose. From warrior two pose, hands come back to the hips. Continue to see that the left foot is firmly rooted on the mat. Feel the left buttocks hugging in, feel the left thigh drawing back. the right thigh is pressing up towards the ceiling. The right buttocks is hugging in. Press that right heel down. So you feel both your feet aligned. You feel both your legs stabilizing down through the earth. Then you can begin to elongate through the fingers. Now, taking your left forearm, placing it on top of your left thigh. As you inhale, draw the right arm up towards the ceiling. Keep bending deeply into that left knee. Keep lengthening up through those right fingers. Draw the left buttocks in. Keep lengthening that right arm back. Good. Now, extend the right arm forward, extend the right arm back, place the right arm behind the back. Keep bending deeply into that left knee here. Press to that right heel and look up. Inhale, re-extending the right arm up towards the ceiling. Let that right arm float us up. Warrior two to reverse warrior. Keep lengthening that left arm up towards the ceiling, reaching up. Back to warrior two. I'm sorry, we forgot this. Straighten through the left leg. One more time, bending deeply into that left knee. It's important because now you get a little bit deeper into the pose. Now, reverse the warrior here. Left arm up towards the ceiling, right hand down. Come back to warrior two. Windmill the hands down to the mat and then glide your left leg to straight as you spin onto the back ball of your right foot. Parsvatonasana pose here as you breathe. Parsvatonasana pose. All right, so from here, Parsvatonasana people, the people of Parsvatonasana, stepping your left leg back to meet the right leg. Shifting forward into plank pose, lowering those knees down, lowering the chest all the way down onto the mat. Good. Now take your hands, place your hands behind your back, interlace the fingers again. Begin to peel the fingers back to the back of the mat as you begin to lengthen through the chest. Elbows draw up towards the ceiling, shoulder blades draw into the center chest. Hug the outer thighs in. So begin to feel your core muscles engaging here, and the crown of the head is lengthening from the center chest. Float the right leg up, see that the right toes are spread wide apart. Float the left leg up, see that the left toes are spread apart. Turn the pinky toe side of the foot down towards the mat as you lengthen through the chest, heart, and sternum. As you exhale, lower those feet on down. Take the hands down to the mat, press down through the fingers, maybe coming up into high cobra pose, maybe floating up to upward facing dog. As you exhale, find your way back into downward facing dog pose here. Downward facing dog pose and breathing. So let's begin to walk our feet forward towards the hands and inhale, lengthen halfway here. As you exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up towards the ceiling, Utkatasana chair pose. And as you exhale, straighten through those legs and find your way to the center of your mat. Good. Hands come back to the hips here. Stepping your feet wide apart. And then from here, spin your left heel in. Spin your right hip out. See that your right knee, right hip, right thigh are all in one line. Then from here, once again, warrior two legs. So just bending into those legs. And the reason we do this is because it creates a foundation for our legs. It stabilizes us so that we have strength through our legs. Straighten through that right leg again. Now hinge at that right hip. Glide the left side of the chest to the ceiling and glide your right hand all the way down the right leg. Now draw the right outer shoulder in towards the shoulder socket. Feel both sides of the chest lengthening forward as you lengthen through the left fingers up towards the ceiling. Let the left side of the chest revolve up towards the left fingers. Let the left heel press down as the left thigh rotates down towards the floor. Now from here, begin to lengthen once again up towards the ceiling. We'll, extend the arms up. Bend that right knee. Warrior two, and one more time, Parsvakonasana. This time we're inside the leg. As you take Parsvakonasana inside the leg, bend more deeply into that right knee. Hug the right outer thigh in. Feel the right buttocks firming in towards the body. So the entire right leg is moving in towards the right arm. That's it. Once again, you're going to take the left arm, bring it behind the back. Maybe here you're going to begin to lift up that right arm and grab hold of a clasp. Lift the chest, lift the heart here, and breathe. Good. As you exhale, lower that hand on down. Inhale, lift the other arm up. From here, look down at the mat. You're going to take your right fingers outside of the leg this time. Step your left foot in. Step your left foot in even more. Inhale, float the left leg up. Ardha Chandrasana pose. Continue to lengthen through that left leg and breathe here as you lengthen through the left side of the chest. If you'd like, you can bend the left knee towards the chest. Grab hold of the left shin here. As you grab hold of the left foot, open that hip up and find your way into Chapasana pose. Keep kicking back the left thigh. Keep rotating the left side of the chest all the way to the ceiling and breathing here. As you exhale, extend that leg, extend that arm. Bend into the right knee softly, releasing on down. Inhale, floating the left arm up. Left arm floats on up. Bend deeply into the right knee. Warrior two pose. Warrior two pose, windmilling the left fingers up towards the ceiling, bringing your hands down to the mat again. This time, your right leg is slightly over of your left foot, so it crosses slightly into the pelvic plane. Typically, we don't do this, but we're doing it for right now. You're just pulling that right hip back and drawing the right hip forward, or drawing the left hip forward. Turn your right knee out to the side and breathe here. So you're just turning onto the outer side of your right foot this time. Good. Step that right leg back. Find your way back into downward facing dog pose. Downward facing dog pose, we step the left foot in between the hands. Spin the right heel down. Walk the left toes to center. From the left buttocks in, warrior two pose. So from warrior two pose, we get our foundation. So you could just bring your hands to the hips and feel the foundation through the floor. Straighten through that left leg. Hinge at that left hip. Glide the left hand forward. Glide the right arm back. Begin to release the left hand down the foot. Right arm all the way up towards the ceiling. So a light bend in that left knee is fine here. Draw the left hip in. Draw the right arm up towards the ceiling. Continue to breathe here. Press to the left ball of the foot. Press to the right ball of the foot. Continue to lengthen through the right side of the chest. Keep wrapping that right arm up. Keep breathing here. And allow that right arm to pull you up and out of the pose. Bend deeply into that left knee. Glide the left hand down inside the leg this time. Take the right arm up towards the ceiling. Good. Reach it up. Now bend that left knee deeply. Drive the left hip in towards the left tricep. Keep drawing the left buttocks in. Take the right hand behind the back again. From here, glide that left hand inside the leg. Maybe hold a clasp of the legs. Maybe lift up the chest here as you begin to revolve your right ear up, or your right side of your chest up towards the right shoulder. That's it. Exhale, softly release here. Extend the right arm up towards the ceiling. Inhale, warrior two. Reverse the warrior here. And I'm sorry, before we do that, you're going to glide the left hand down outside the left leg. Right hand's on the right hip. Step the right foot in. Step the left leg forward. Glide the right leg up, glide the right leg up, glide the right leg up. Inhale, float the right hand up. Breathe here. Nice. This is called Ardha Chandrasana pose. From Ardha Chandrasana, maybe putting a bend into that right knee. Grabbing hold of the right shin, taking the right thigh back to the back of the room. This is where we do our Chapasana variation. So keep kicking back through the right thigh. Keep opening up through the right side of the chest. Good, guys. Releasing that hand down, or lifting that arm up, releasing that leg down, slowly lowering back down. Inhale, lifting up, warrior two. Now reverse the warrior. Bring the hands down to the mat and begin to straighten through that left leg. So once again here, as you begin to straighten through that left leg, release the head on down. So it's a little bit of a cross stretch here, but it's a really nice stretch for the outer hips. Then you're going to turn onto the outer side of the left foot and be here for a moment. Release the head down. Good. Exhale, stepping your left leg back to meet the right. Downward facing dog pose. Downward facing dog pose again, walking the feet forward towards the hands. Inhale, lengthening through the chest, heart, and sternum. As you exhale, hinging at the hips, folding all the way forward. Inhale, spinning the arms up towards the ceiling, Urdhva Hastasana pose, arms extended above the head. And as you exhale, bringing those hands back down to the hips, finding your way into your Tadasana pose. So from Tadasana pose, one more time, we're going to step the feet wide apart here. You're going to take the feet to about 3 to 4 feet apart and see that the feet are parallel. Feel the weight traveling from the inner foot to the outer foot here as you continue to lengthen the chest. As you exhale here, begin to hinge at those hips and fold all the way forward. Good. Take the hands, place the hands down onto the shins, and then eventually place the hands down onto the floor. Walk the feet back, or walk the hands back rather, so that the heel of the hand is in line with the heel of the foot. Begin to hug the elbows in and begin to release that head all the way down. Breathe in here. Begin to release and allow the backs of the legs to elongate. Okay. So from here, what you may decide to do is take a block and place the head on a block. You could place your head on 2 blocks. It's an option as well. And release the head on down. Just breathe into the backs of those legs this time. Hug the outer elbows in. Continue to feel the thigh bones drawing back. Side ribs drawing forward. Breathing here. All right, inhale, lifting the chest on up. Heel toeing the feet back towards one another. Taking the block, placing it behind you. Heel toeing the feet in again. And coming back into Tadasana pose. So we're back in standing mountain pose. Okay, from here, float the right arm up towards the ceiling. See that the right palm faces the back of the room. Place the right palm on the right shoulder. So what you may actually decide to do if you have a strap is you may place a strap over the top of the right shoulder. I'd recommend it. Placing a strap on top of the right shoulder, grab hold of the strap instead of the shoulder. Then you're going to take the left hand, reach it out to the side, grab hold of the strap behind the back of the right shoulder. And then you're going to pull the right elbow up towards the ceiling, and you're going to pull the left elbow all the way down towards the mat. So keep feeling your elbow. Your right elbow is lifting all the way up. Your left elbow is lifting all the way down. Feel the 4 corners of the feet pressing down. The belly's engaged. Once again, thigh bones are drifting towards the back of the room. Belly is drawing towards the back of the room. Chest is softening here as you lift up through the right elbow. Release the strap. Strap comes to the other side and change. You're going to take your strap, place it around your left hand to grab hold of the strap. Your right hand grabs hold of the strap. Left elbow draws up towards the ceiling. Right elbow draws down to the mat. And continue to breathe here. So see that the thigh bones continue to draw back. The belly continues to engage in, and you're breathing here. Elbows draw in opposite directions. And continue to feel the breath drawing in and out through the nose. This is called Garandasana or Gomukhasana arms. So our arms are in Gomukhasana pose here. And as you exhale, just softly release on down. You're going to take that strap, place it on out to the side. Good, and breathe here, Tadasana pose. Inhale, float the arms up above the head. As you exhale, hinge at the hips, fold all the way down. Inhale, lengthening through the chest, walk the feet back, find your way into downward facing dog pose. As you find your way into downward facing dog pose, you're going to shift forward into plank, you're going to lower the knees down, you're going to lower the chest all the way down to the mat. Again, you're going to take the hands behind the back, interlacing all 10 fingers this time. Pull the fingers to the back of the buttocks. Inhale, begin to peel up the chest here. So lengthen the flesh of the buttocks all the way towards the heels. Begin to feel the pit of the abdomen drawing in, softening through the frontal ribs, and begin to lengthen the shoulder blades all the way towards the heels. Keep spreading the feet wide apart. Spread through the toes. Lengthen through the chest as you breathe here. Exhale, lower on down as you release. Good, we're going to do that one more time. So interlace the fingers the opposite way this time. Pull the fingers to the back of the mat. Inhale, begin to float up the left leg this time. And then float up the right leg. So both feet are floating off the ground. See that the toes are lengthening down towards the floor as you lengthen through the chest. So the toes are lengthening down, but the thighs are lengthening up. This creates a lot of space in the back body. So you breathe, Shalabhasana pose. And as you exhale, lower on down again. Release the hands down to the sides of the chest. Inhale, peeling up the chest, heart, and sternum. Exhale, pressing on back. Downward facing dog pose. Downward facing dog pose here, breathing. Good. We're going to step the right foot in between the hands. Spin the left heel down. Inhale, float the arms up and find your way into Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1 pose. Good. Straighten through that right leg. Take the hands and place the hands behind the back. Interlace the fingers here. As you pull the fingers down behind you, lift the chest on up and exhale. Begin to fold forward here. So this is a variation of Parsvatonasana. Fingers interlaced behind the back. Draw the right hip back. Draw the left hip forward and breathe. Now inhale, lift the chest up and float on up. Glide the arms up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, bring your hands down to the mat. Spin onto the ball of your left foot. Step your left foot up and walk your hands forward into L-shaped pose. From L-shaped pose, bend the elbows here and just release on down so that your head is releasing down towards the right foot. Good. Now inhale, lift the chest on up. Without letting the left toes touch the floor, can you draw the left leg in towards center here? Hands come to the hips. Draw the left knee into a bent position. Take the left foot, cross it over the right thigh crease. Bend your right knee and see if you can sit into that bent left knee here. This is called a sitting pigeon. Keep breathing here. Good. Inhale, come back to center. Now, take your left hand. Grab hold of the outer side of your left foot. I can't believe I'm going into this pose. Inhale, lifting the right arm up towards the ceiling here. This is called Najarasana pose, or the King Dancer's pose. You're going to keep kicking your left leg back as you lift the chest forward. Keep kicking back, lift the left chest forward. Keep kicking back, lift the left chest forward. So the left hip is drawing forward, the left chest is drawing forward, the leg is drawing back. Good. Come back to center here. That's a good work there. Draw the left knee into the chest. Take the left arm out to the side, twisting, standing. It's like Padangusthasana. It's almost Padangusthasana. If you want to do Padangusthasana, grab hold of the foot, extend that leg on forward, keep lifting through the chest, the heart, the sternum here, and then draw that knee back to a bend. Hands come to the center chest. Release the hands down to the mat, glide the left leg back. Again, we come into Parsvatonasana pose. So lots of Parsvatonasana poses today. Bending into that right knee, stepping your right leg back to meet the left. Good. Shift forward into plank. If you'd like, lower the chest down halfway. Pause. Inhale, peel up the chest. Exhale, pressing back. Downward facing dog pose. So from downward facing dog pose here, we step the left foot in between the hands. We spin that right heel down. Inhale, floating the arms up as we come into Warrior 1. A Warrior 1 pose we take for a moment. Press through that right heel. Continue to bend into that left knee. See if you can lift through both sides of the chest here. Straighten through that leg. Take the hands behind the waist. Interlace the fingers here the opposite way. Drive the hands back to the back of the knees. Inhale, lift the chest up. Exhale, gliding the chest on forward as you lift up the arms to the ceiling. Spin the chest over towards the left foot. Draw the left outer hip back as you breathe here. Good. As you inhale, peel up the chest. Take the arms, place the arms up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, bend into that knee again. Bring your hands down to the mat and spin onto the ball of your right foot. Glide that right leg up. So now you're in floating L pose. Release the head down. Breathe here. Now draw the right foot forward, draw the right foot forward, draw the right foot forward without letting it touch the floor. Draw the right knee to a bend. Take the right foot, bring it over the left thigh crease, bend into that left knee. So we come into that standing pigeon's pose. This is like a standing pigeon. Good. You'll come back to center. You'll grab hold of the back of your right foot, and then you'll lift your left arm up towards the ceiling here. This is Najarasana's pose, the King Dancer's pose. As you feel ready, begin to kick that leg back as you lift the chest up. Kicking back through that leg and lifting the chest up. So see that the left ball and the left heel are pressing down to the ground. Feel the left outer hip pinning in. Feel the left thigh drawing up. Feel the right calf pressing back. Feel the right side of the chest lifting up. Come back to center here. Draw the knee into the chest. Grab hold of the outer side of the foot. Maybe grab hold of the outer side of the foot or the outer side of the knee. Extend that leg either forward or out to the side as you lengthen through your right arm here. Breathe here. Good, and as you exhale, release. Bring your hands down to the center chest. Release your hands down onto the mat. Glide that right leg back and come into Parsvatonasana pose. And breathe here. So press through the left ball of the foot, drive the left hip back. Press through the right heel, drive the right hip forward. Bend that knee. Step that leg back. Lower those knees down. And find your way under your forearms. You're going to come into forearm plank pose. So forearm plank pose here. You're going to press down through the forearms, walk the feet back, and wrap the outer thighs in and up. And from here, lengthen the buttocks flush to the heels. Continue to press those forearms down. Continue to engage your core muscles. So lengthen here. Keep lengthening, keep lengthening. And then as you feel ready, walk the feet in. Walk the feet in, walk the feet in, and find your way into your downward facing dog pose, but with fingers interlaced on your forearms. So this is called dolphin pose. And breathe here. Good. From dolphin's pose, you're going to lower the knees down onto the mat and release down into your child's pose for a moment. Just be here. Release the head down, close the eyes, release. Okay, so from here, you're going to take your mat and you're going to fold your mat up in half and in half again. You're going to take this mat to the wall. So we're going to set up for headstand. And to find your way into headstand, you're going to first start by taking your thumbs and running them along the edges of the head so that you come to the very top, tippity top of the head. That's where your head is going to be in this pose. You're going to take your fingers and interlace them, and your fingers are going to support your head. So you see how all the heel of the palm is together? I don't release that. I just place the elbows in, and this is the pose that I'm in from the ground. So I press down through the wrists, through the forearms, through the elbows, and this is how I take this pose. So from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to find my way to the wall. And I should have plenty of cushioning. So when you fold the mat a few times, this creates a decent amount of cushioning here. So now I take my interlaced fingers to the wall. Then I release my head on down right to the mat. Now I release the head down and begin to lift those legs up. I begin to lift. Okay, so to get up, I should be talking about this right now. So now, if you can be here for a long time, so you're going to take dolphin's pose at the wall again. My apologies. Take dolphin's pose at the wall and just keep pressing the wrists into the wall. Keep pressing the forearms down into the mat. Keep breathing here as you wrap those outer triceps in. If you could take this pose and there's really no effort in the body, then you're pretty much ready for headstand, at least to try it. So you can place your head down. Also, you don't want to take headstand if you have any type of head or neck injury, any type of glaucoma or some type of eye issue. You don't want to take it if you have shoulders issues, stroke. So anything that, cardiovascular issue, then you may not want to take this pose. Otherwise, you could try the pose, attempt the pose. Always check, obviously, with your physician to see if it's a good pose to take. So you're going to release the head down on the mat. You're going to press down through the wrists, forearm fingers. Lift the legs up, walk the feet in, walk the feet in. Then you're going to bend one leg up and see if you can take that leg to the wall. The other leg just naturally lifts up. For most of us, this is very challenging because we haven't developed the arm strength yet to be able to do that, or the leg strength. So here, I'm actually just lifting the one leg and then the other leg. I'm not kicking up. You can kick up if you want, but just make sure you have a support if you decide to kick up. I don't want people kicking up and then them being like, oh, I wasn't, you're flopping around everywhere. So press up through those heels. Press up through the balls of the feet. Continue to hug the belly in and breathe here. So this is called Shirshasana or headstand. And usually we take it for 1 to 3 minutes here. You don't want to come out and then come back into the pose. If you are not taking this pose today, you may just want to take the legs up the wall. So that's an option.
Pressing through the forearms and wrists. Wrap those outer triceps in. Lifting the trapezius muscles away from the ears. Softening the belly. Softening the frontal ribs. Buttocks hugs in. Thighs draw in. Feet lift up. So maybe even for some of us, we may float the feet away from the wall. You do want to see that the belly continues to draw in though. You do want to see that the frontal ribs continue to soften. That's it. And maybe the feet come back to the wall. You'll be here for another 30 seconds. Keep lengthening the buttocks up the wall. Keep breathing here. And very slowly release that right leg and left leg down the wall. Now you're going to find your way into child's pose right now. So you'll just take the knees down, release the head down, close the eyes here and breathe. From child's pose, you take the fingers forward with the hands and find your way back into a downward facing dog pose again. Okay, so from here, you're going to take this mat, and you're going to place the mat all the way out, and you're going to come down and lie down on your back. And lie down on your back. Good. All right. So from here, you're going to take your hands to the sides of your mat. You're going to roll the shoulders underneath, press down through the feet. Calves draw to thighs. Calves draw to shins. Thighs draw to hamstrings, buttocks lengthens to the heels. Keep drawing the belly in as you breathe here. Exhale, release all the way down. You could move the head right and left a few times if you like. Good, one more time. So squeezing onto the mat, pressing down through the feet. Firming the triceps in, engaging the core muscles. Seeing that the feet are pressing down, shin bones are drawing back, thigh bones are drawing back. Keep lifting the belly, or keep drawing the belly in as you lift through the chest. And exhale, lower all the way down. So now, take your block, place your block right underneath your pelvis. Take your block right underneath your pelvis. You're going to begin to extend your right leg on forward. So this is actually a very deep pose. So you could just be here on one side. You're just taking one side of the pose, breathing in and releasing. The deeper variation of this pose is drawing the right knee into the chest, taking the right foot, placing the right foot down to the mat, scooting over, scooting over, scooting over, and releasing that right knee all the way down. So your hips, your buttocks is still on the ground. Your hips are drawing behind you and you're breathing here. This is a variation of the pose. Very deep hip opener. I'm sorry, very deep quad stretch. Pressing down through the left foot and breathing here. Wrap the outer right thigh in. Continue to press down. Continue to lengthen through the right hip socket. Good. And then you'll come back. You'll bring that knee out to the side. You'll untuck that toe. You'll start by lengthening through the left leg. So you can just stay here. You don't have to move into the next variation of the pose. If you do, you want to see that the block is right underneath the buttocks flesh, not underneath the low back. And as you feel ready, you'll bend the knee. Well, it's right at the tailbone. I mean, it's kind of like low back, buttocks, upper buttocks, low back. And then from here, you'll draw the left knee in. You'll bring the left knee to a bent position. You'll glide your hips over. So you may need to readjust this block as you do so. And then one leg may be a little bit different than the other. My left thigh is a lot tighter than my right, so I can feel that. I'm breathing in here. But over time, it tends to release. Nice, guys. Softly remove that leg. So now you're in your normal. Your pelvis is on a block. Your knees are bent, and just breathe here. That's some of the deepest stretches. I forget what the pose is called, but those stretches with the quads, man, are they challenging. I think it's called Vidrasana, something similar to that. All right, now if you want, you could do it one more time on the right side. So hugging that leg back, walking that foot underneath, and breathing here. So you want to kind of scoot that block forward just so that it's underneath the pelvis. And keeping the right knee in, left knee to a bent position. And breathe. Press down through the left foot, keep lengthening through the right inner thigh. Keep releasing the right inner groin down. Yeah, really deep stretch. All right, you're gonna take your foot out from that side, then you'll do the other side. And believe it or not, these poses, even though it's a back bend, it's like a back bend, lift the pelvis up, take the pelvis down. Even though it's a back bend, it's still a very deep quadricep stretch. So it is a very inward pose, this pose. For me, at least, it is. And the block's not necessary. For me, it is, but for some students, it's fine without a block. And exhale, release. Good, so take your pelvis up, remove it. Place the pelvis on down, cross the legs here, scoot the hips over, so left leg over right, scoop the hips to the left, drop the legs over to the right. So you can even bring your block back if you need to support it under the top of the left leg. Close the eyes and breathe. Let's do it to the other side. Uncross the legs, scoot the hips over, right over left, scoot the hips over the right. And then if you want, you can place a block right underneath the right knee. So you drop the legs over to the other side. And then come back to center. Good. If the block's within reaching distance, grab the other block. Place the block in between the legs. Bring the feet together. Supta Baddha Konasana. Release the head on down. You don't need a block here, but it's nice. Take the knees together, extend the legs fully forward. If you haven't already, Shavasana pose, release. You can keep the hands on the body or you can take the arms out to the sides. So bring the knees to a bent position. Take the legs over to one side. Press your top palm down. Inhale, float the chest on up.
Find your way into a cross-legged position. As you bring yourself into a cross-legged position, take the hands to the center chest. Release the chin towards the chest. Float the head up. Float the eyes open. Namaste, yogis. So thank you guys so much. I hope that you have a phenomenal rest of your day today. My name is Jason Gorenstein. The class that you just took, this was our Hatha Yoga Level 1-2 class. So we do this class every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 12 p.m. Pacific time on Facebook Live. So please join us on Facebook Live. If you guys are not already subscribed, please subscribe to my page at Yoga with Jason G. I'm on all the platforms on that. And yes, I hope that you guys have a phenomenal rest of your day. So thank you guys so much. If you guys haven't already, please feel free to comment, share, like, subscribe. And also, if you feel like sending any contributions via Venmo, please feel free to do so. I hope that you guys have a phenomenal day today. Be well, be happy, my friends. Namaste, yogis. So thank you guys so much. I will look forward to seeing you all very, very soon. Namaste. Bye, guys.